Please show your support by checking out these events.
You asked me what I went through on that road through hell that brought me back to you. I told you war can change a man. It broke your heart, but you tried to understand. You wish you were there for me, but baby, can't you see that you were there? In that picture in my pocket I carried everywhere, yeah, you were there. On those burning battlefields and in my prayers, yeah, you were there. When the desert moon began to rise, if I could find a quiet moment in the fight, I'd read your letters, every one of them, and they gave me hope I'd kiss your lips again. You wish you were there for me, but baby, can't you see that you were there? In that picture in my pocket I carried everywhere, yeah, you were there. On those burning battlefields and in my prayers, yeah, you were there. And I know you fight battles of your own, and there are days that you struggle to stay strong. But I'm here for you, 'cause you were there. And in the night you're close to me, you pull me back when my dreams take me to dark places over there. And I thank God that you were there. Yeah, you were there. You were there.
T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi, my name is Doug. I'm the president of Guardians of the Purple Heart, and we are a 501c3 approved nonprofit organization based here in southeastern Connecticut that specializes in obtaining items or services for Connecticut combat wounded veterans that aren't being met by other organizations like the VA. So what we like to think is where the VA or these other establishments have to leave off because of their corporate red tape and limitations, we can come in behind them and fulfill these needs by reaching out to the community, working with our vast network of supporters, and just coming together as a whole and supporting these Purple Heart recipients and improving their overall quality of life. A lot of people ask us how do they get involved and how do they join in on the fun with us. A lot of things you could do. Follow us on Facebook, #1, Instagram, Twitter. Go to our website at gotph.org. You can send donations, send us a message. Spread the word of what we're doing. All the Connecticut Purple Heart recipients, we are out there trying to make a difference in their lives. So please give us a hand and join in on the fun.
Hey, this is Texas singer-songwriter Sergeant Scotty Frazier, proud to have served in the United States Marine Corps and now proud to serve with music. I am honored to be interviewed by and partner with Fubar Studio, the best in military and veteran supporting podcasts. Check them out, and thank you for your service for our American heroes. Also check out scottyfrazier.com for more of my music, and check us out on Spotify, Amazon, and where all good things are streaming. Semper Fi, rock and roll.
Bring your appetite down to Big Belly Cafe, 140 Gore Street, Webster, Mass. for curbside, takeout, and indoor seating. Visit bigbellycafe.com to view their hours, menu, and order online. For reservations, please call ahead at 508-949-2433. Follow Big Belly Cafe on Facebook for weekly and daily specials. And remember, all veterans receive a discount for their recognition of service. Big Belly Cafe. Reedy's Archery, located in Middleborough, Mass. at 121 Wood Street, has been a staple in the area since 1993 and has become the one-stop pro shop for competitive target archers and bow hunters from New England. Reedy's is open Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. Make sure to visit reedysarchery.com and follow them on Facebook to keep up with upcoming events. Reedy's Archery, dedicated to the archer. Wolf Aviation Network is the only flight school in the area utilizing the Airwolf Simulator AATD and the specialized Part 61 training program designed to save students money while increasing safety and efficiency. Creating safe pilots is our first priority. Our flight sim is the perfect training device. It is designed to prepare students adequately before taking flight in our aircraft. Fly with us and save money. Wolf Aviation. Reserve your spot at 413-563-1929 and visit wolfaviationnetwork.com.
This is what we train for, every day.
We just received new intel that there's an enemy presence at the airstrip compound.
All those years. When you're the first to arrive, it's not enough to be ready. You have to be relentless. It's our job to control the ground and the sky, wherever they may meet, even behind enemy lines. They call us one-man air traffic control towers, but we're more than that.
Ivy Lima Charlie, break. Airfield is stable. You are clear to land.
We turn hell into an airstrip. And clear the way for others to follow.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host Doug, and today we've got our some special guests for you. Just to the bottom of me, we've got Sarah, and then to the left of me, or actually to the right of me, I've got Drew. But before we dive into who these special guests are, I want to give a big shout out to our last person that we had on our episode, which was Sean. Sean definitely, he was one of the veterans that we took out deep sea fishing. Him and I definitely had a great time chit-chatting, going back and forth and talking about the whole deep sea fishing and on the track with veterans, where he was able to, one of his buddies was able to drive the sprint car around the track, but he will get into it next time. But yeah, definitely appreciate him coming on and talking to us and sharing his experience with on the track with the veterans. But want to also give a big shout out to all of our followers and our viewers, and our weekly viewers that are just on there talking to us and chit-chatting. Thank you for definitely keeping this up and keeping it going. Without you guys, it definitely wouldn't be possible to be doing what we're doing. And also big shout out to all of our sponsors and our supporters and donors out there. We got Heritage Distillery, who we have on today, who made a generous donation to us with the bottles of alcohol. So we definitely appreciate them doing that. But we also have Reed's Archery down in Middleborough. If you ever need any of your archery stuff like that, go down and talk to Chris Reed. He will get you taken care of. He will even get your bow restrung up and taken care of, and get you some new arrows while you're at it. Also, we have the Veteran Development Corporation with Mark Vaughn. He's an absolutely stand-up guy. He was one of the beginning guys that started making the donations here at Fubar Studio Veteran Reinforcement. Want to give him a big shout out and thank you as well. We also have Big Belly Cafe. If you're looking for a place to go right before you go to the Indian Ranch to see Morgan Wallen or something like that, definitely stop in. They got the kitchen sink. You will be there satisfied and going home with extras. So definitely stop in, see Julie. They will take care of you. They also give you a military first responder discount. So definitely let them know and they will get you hooked up. We've also got Larry's Landscape Supply down in Charlton, Massachusetts, where you can get all your literally landscaping needs, everything taken care of, delivered, the whole 9 yards. Check them out. We've got also the Standard Auto Wrecking and Salvage down in Worcester, Massachusetts. As a lot of people would say, Worcester. Well, it is Worcester. Don't call it Worcester. For all of our southern people out here today. We also have New England Blue Collar Printing, who did all of our track day for veteran DTF transfers for our shirts. Definitely want to give them a big shout out. Lindsay and them took care of us this year. Definitely appreciate their all their help and support with us. Also, we have Wolf Aviation. Wolf Aviation, if you're looking to get your private pilot's license and get even your instrument rating, check them out. I definitely guarantee you will get your license pretty quick and easy. They explain it all for you, and literally, I can't tell you enough. They save you thousands of dollars. It's just at like $7,000. They will get you into your private pilot's license. So if you're looking for that, definitely reach out to Wolf Aviation. Tell Sebastian that I sent you. He will get you taken care of. We also have LVJ trailers down in Norfolk, Massachusetts. Anything you need for open or enclosed trailers, Tyler will get you taken care of. Tell him I sent you. And again, appreciate everybody out there that's always donating and sponsoring us. Appreciate it. And saving the last but not least, want to give a big shout out to all of our friends over in Worcester at the Worcester Paul Sox. It's the AA affiliate or AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. They've definitely taken care of us and hooked us up with so much stuff, and all of our veterans definitely appreciate it, and thank you guys, and good luck to the 2025 spring training, and look forward to hopefully seeing David Ortiz's son playing hopefully in a couple of years. So now we're going to turn it over and say welcome you guys. Sarah, Drew, we appreciate you coming on. I spilled the beans already right at the beginning, telling them a little bit about you, but you guys are the people that pretty much run the, I wouldn't say run the whole thing, but you guys do all of it because you guys are the owners and founders of Heritage Distillery, if I'm saying it correctly. So
yes, sir. Heritage Distilling Company. You got it.
All right. So I will let you go, ladies first, and then we'll get off over to Drew right after that. So Sarah, give us a little background on who you are and what you do at the Heritage Distillery.
Awesome, Doug. Well, thank you so much. And I first just want to say thank you for having us on, and thank you for your heart of serving veterans in all the different ways that you do. It was really amazing to read your bio before we came on the podcast, and to be highlighted for the Veterans Day edition for this podcast really means a lot to us. It's an honor and a privilege. So thank you, first of all, for having us.
No, you're welcome.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Again, Sara Kellerman, I'm the Vice President of Salute Series for Heritage Distilling Company. We're a small craft distillery here in Gig Harbor, Washington. And a little bit about my background. I'm a proud Midwesterner. I grew up in the great state of Minnesota. Most of my accent is kind of filtered away, but every now and then that'll come out and people will definitely know where I'm from. But I loved my early years there. A lot of the influential men in my life were in the military. My dad spent almost 30 years in the Army National Guard. He was a crusty old sergeant major, and I can say that because he'll be 88 this next year and is still kicking and spunky and doing great. My brother was a Air Force Academy graduate in 1986, flew F-16s for about almost 15 years, flew sorties in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. My brother-in-law graduated from the Air Force Academy a few years after that, was a KC-135 tanker pilot. And all that should have told me to go the Air Force route, but I didn't. I followed my dad and went the path of the Army. I left Minnesota for the University of Colorado at Boulder, joined their Army ROTC program. I met Drew there. He's my husband of 32 years. A few weeks ago, we celebrated. And so I just grew up with very much with a heart to serve and wanting to be in the military in some sort of way. I didn't necessarily grow up dreaming of flying, but again, with the aviation related paths of those men in my life, I thought it would be really cool to give it a try. So when I was able to choose the path, I chose aviation, went down to Fort Rucker for about 13 challenging months, and was privileged enough to be able to be assigned the Black Hawk helicopter. Flew that for about 6 years after flight school, air assault mission, and then in Arizona flew EH-60s, intelligence and surveillance. So very privileged to fly that platform, just an absolutely gorgeous aircraft, and I loved every moment of it. Met some of the best people of my life, during the service. And with the series that we've launched now at Heritage Distilling, it's called the Salute Series. And I'll let Drew tell you more about that as well. But essentially, we're looking for people who love the military and love whiskey, just like we do. And we're on a mission to raise money for benevolent nonprofits to support our military communities and the active duty soldiers and veterans and families that are associated with those nonprofits.
Nice. It's definitely I'll tell you, our guest that we had on last week, Sean, he was one of the winners of the whiskey and he was like, holy cow. He was like, as soon as he got home, him and his buddies all like took their boots off and they were just kicking their feet up and having it. And I'm like, oh man, it seems so good. And he's like, yep, every last bit of it. I'm like, oh, I love it. I bet it was.
That makes us happy.
He even kept the bottle. He kept the bottle and rinsed it out and keeps it on his counter. But yeah, I told him. I said, well, when I talked to him, I said I'll let them know. You got the 5 thumbs up from these guys.
All right. No, great compliment. Thank you.
Yes. So definitely appreciate it. And Drew, over to you. Can you give us a little bit of the background and stuff like that with you, with Heritage Distilling as well as your military background and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Doug. And I want to echo Sarah's gratitude for you having us on. It really is an honor and a privilege chat with you and to your audience about this whole thing, because it's a mission-driven, passionate type of project we're doing. But so I'm glad you let Sarah go first, because she was actually my superior officer in the military. I had to salute her and call her ma'am even as we were married. My guys loved that. They thought that was the coolest thing ever. Obviously, she's still my superior officer. I was my bride of 32 years, but
obviously,
so, yeah, of course. But just like Sarah mentioned, we ended up both in the Army ROTC program in Colorado back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. We both came on board with the Army right at the end of Desert Storm. We were actually preparing for early commissioning and deployment to go over there to replace the fallen, because they were anticipating a pretty heavy battle. And of course, 100 hours later, it was over. Boy, don't we wish that much of the GWA went that way. But we came on board right in the early 90s. I chose to be in the Army. A good buddy of mine and I, growing up together, we were just outdoors, crazy kids. We grew up in Hawaii. All we wanted to do is, go be Rangers, go be Green Berets, go just do all the crazy stuff, like a lot of kids want to do. So kind of follow that dream, follow that path. And ended up as an infantry officer. So I was 11 Alpha, got a chance to go to airborne school, go to Ranger school, and then serve in the light infantry in the 25th Infantry Division out in Hawaii at Schofield Barracks, when it was really a light division. It was before they had any kind of, so we were just walking all the time, flying in helicopters. Sarah and her unit would actually shuttle us around and take us from valley to valley, and drop us off on ridge lines and stuff, and we'd train and so forth. Had a great time. It was a great privilege to serve. But both of us, we came in right after Desert Storm, and really nothing was going on, and we decided to kind of get out and pursue other things. Started a family, and then after that, 9/11 happened. So we never got the call back. But we were, it was a great privilege to serve when we did. Fast forward a number of years, and we were like 13 years ago, so 2011. Yeah, May 2011, we're sitting around our fire pit, a campfire in our backyard, and we had met some very, very good friends, Jennifer and Justin Stiefel. We were just really becoming great friends with these guys. Our kids were in school together and living in this community in Gig Harbor, Washington, which is about an hour southwest of Seattle. And so we're enjoying some whiskey. We had a nice dinner, and we're having, cigars and all the fun stuff. And Justin, who's a chemical engineer and an attorney, we're two great disciplines for distilling, raised his glass. He said, "Hey, this is great, but we could make better." And we couldn't, he went on to tell us this incredible plan that he'd been devising for years. Washington State had just relaxed the rules on craft distilling. It was a time to really get started. he saw it following the same trend as craft brewing from 20, 25 years earlier, right? That huge growth in the craft brewing. So the laws had changed, and this was the time to do it. So he just that night led us deep down this path as we got deep in our cups about what we were going to do, and got us totally on board. And the next morning, the whiskey had worn off, and it still seemed like a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't always happen,
Yeah.
right? So we said, hey, this sounds great. So we literally started on a business plan, started raising money, rented a small commercial space, bought ourselves a still, and started to teach ourselves how to do this business. And it was really just a lot of sweat equity and friends and family and getting folks involved. We got our kids involved, which turned out didn't want that on social media, but we just had a great time getting things rolling. The products we made in the first couple of years don't exist anymore because it was a nice trial run, but they weren't really worthy moving forward. So then we finally started to get our recipes down and our processes down, started producing some really good stuff. And it was about 2014, out of the blue, because we're about 30 minutes away from Joint Base Lewis McChord, Fort Lewis. Let's just call it Fort Lewis. About 30 minutes away from Fort Lewis, and that is the home of headquarters in one of the battalions for 1st Special Forces Group, among many other units. But one of the company sergeants major came walking into our offices one day. He said, hey, I really love your guys' whiskey. I love your products, love what you guys have been doing. I'm a big fan, and I really want to create a fundraising whiskey for 1st Special Forces Group. He said, I can't make the whiskey, you guys can, but I'd like to design the bottle and the label. We could sell it, raise money for our local nonprofits. What do you guys think? We thought that was the coolest thing ever. So Sarah and I, we're these, veteran co-founders that hadn't really had much opportunity to give back to our military community up to that point. We jumped all over this. We thought it was the coolest idea. So we got through all the processes. We started with a small local launch of Special Forces whiskey. We did, started doing every year different editions. And that began to get the attention. We raised about $150,000 for the nonprofits supporting local 1st Special Forces Group and their scholarship fund and the local chapter of the Special Forces Association and the memorial wall and all that kind of cool stuff. Doing check ceremonies and the whole thing. It was awesome. We partnered up with those guys. They took us under a wing. They adopted us. We got to be a part of their Menton Days every year, the big celebration for Special Forces. So while I never ended up going into Special Forces, it was like a way for me to be adopted as like the stepchild into that community, which was really cool. And their operational tempo was crazy, right? Because 2014, 15, 16. But we got to know those guys. It was great. But a lot of other folks across the special operations community and in the military in general kind of were reaching out to us and saying, hey, this is cool what you guys are doing for First Group. What about the rest of us? Right? So we were like, yeah, that's a good question, but we weren't quite ready yet. We didn't have the size, scale, scope, experience to do anything really on a bigger scale yet. So last year, we finally realized that we'd grown enough, and we've got 5 tasting rooms across Washington, Oregon, a couple production facilities. But, I can say this because I'm not the head distiller, but, we're the most awarded distillery in North America 10 years in a row by the American Distilling Institute. And there's like 3,000 distilleries across the country. So we built this huge reputation in the craft space. We're making all kinds of great stuff. Some of our longer term age whiskeys were starting to hit and hitting really well. Like we knew we were making good stuff that could compete with the top shelf stuff. So that really was the impetus. We said, look, we've got the credibility to do this because we've been supporting First Group for 7 years. We have the ability to do it because we're big enough. So that means we actually have the responsibility to do this. So let's go big. Justin, our CEO, he's always saying, think bigger. What can we do that's bigger? Come on, let's do something bigger. So we said, well, okay, let's launch our Salute series. And that's going to be where we are going to shoot with a mission of raising $1 million per edition for the benevolent organizations supporting our warriors and their veterans and families, right? So like, okay, we're going to go big on this one. So we just launched this last November, and really the whole project that we're doing, it's whiskey that honors the worthy. Yeah, that's really what it's about. And we started with something called a Special Operations Salute. We'd kind of come from the Special Ops supporting with First Group, so we expanded it out to all Army Special Operations, all 6 tribes within ARSOF.
Yeah.
We did a bottle with a custom tube, presentation tube, and a lithograph print called Send Me, celebrating 60 years of Army Special Operations wrapped around the bottom of the tube. I mean, just a really cool package with a 6 and 7 year blend of bourbon and rye whiskeys that were just 105 proof, right? Howitzer strength, right? Coming out to the 105. And we just, we hit the ground with what we felt was a whiskey that would be perfect for ritual sips and ceremonial toasts, right? Because this is to be drunk straight or over the rocks. It's a special bottle, elevated. Guys are buying it even if they don't drink because it's just cool to put on the shelf. And so we did it very authentically. We got a lot of technical advisors from the special operations community to help us out with that. And then the goal was to continue on from there. But I'll pause here and pass it over to Sarah, who can maybe kind of share a little bit about how it evolved from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so...
Yeah, go ahead, Doug, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, what would be your take on all this? And, definitely want to hear your input on it.
Yeah, thank you. It was just really incredible to see the response we had from the Army Special Operations Salute. We weren't really sure. Obviously, the main audience was going to be our special operators, but what we found was that even, military folks outside of that Army SOS community thought the packaging was so cool. It was so worthy of being on their bar that even, we had, someone from the Air Force, a few folks from the Marines, like, this is so cool, I've got to have it in my bar. And so we found that it was, the ripple effect was really much farther reaching than we initially thought it would be. And then Drew's uncle was a young captain in the 101st Airborne Division during D-Day, jumped into D-Day, Captain Bill Patey. And so we thought, we've got a very strong military and family connection there. We launched a 80th anniversary of D-Day series in June. We had a special air, land, and sea label, 3 different labels, by incredibly world-renowned artist and military veteran Michael Solovey, who also did that lithograph for the Army SOS. So just incredible talent and skill behind these projects. And then we thought, well, what's next? What can we do that really celebrates and runs a ribbon through all of our military services? And Drew connected with an incredible 27-year, special operator veteran named Rick Hogg.
Yeah.
And he is he's handled dogs throughout his career. He started the Duco Project, which is a very meaningful dog for him that he has since lost to cancer. But he and Drew started to connect, and Rick's been our technical advisor for the War Dog series. And we just released that at the very end of August, on August 26th, National Dog Day. And this has been incredible so far. It hasn't even been quite a month yet. I've been managing our social media platforms, and it's really neat to see the pride that people have in their service dogs. We have, active duty military posting themselves in uniform with their dog, also in their gear. We have proud parents posting their children's pictures, their active duty, military and their dogs. We have people reaching out who have service dogs. And then we have strangers commenting on these posts. Thank you for your service. What a gorgeous animal. I'm so sorry for your loss. Like, it's just been this amazing, for lack of a better term, it's been like this social media love fest, which I did not anticipate.
Yeah.
You don't always see all that in social media. And so what we found through Army SOS, through our 80th anniversary of D-Day, and now War Dogs, is that in a time when this country feels as, divided as ever, we've got a political season ahead of us, these products and this mission really start to bring people together. And I think that's what we're most proud of with the company, is that we're not only supporting our military communities, but we just want to be that unabashedly patriotic company that waves the flag. We believe in our country. We haven't lost sight of who we are. And we just want to continue to celebrate that.
No, absolutely. And that's great. And that's, it's amazing that what you guys are doing and how you guys are really critiquing it. And as we were talking before, I had on here a special guest was Scotty Hastings, and I don't know if you know anything regarding him, but he was just over in Normandy during the 80th anniversary of D-Day. He was singing over there.
Awesome.
You know, and he's a veteran himself. He was shot 10 times in Afghanistan, you know, and still here, you know, and which is absolutely amazing. And, you know, now he's taken the turn to, you know, doing what he loves, and that's singing. You know, and I find a lot of connections with veterans and artists. You know, that's one of the things it's always, you know, I've always found, because again, I like playing the guitar. I'm not the best. I'm not no Willie Nelson or Johnny Cash or Elvis Presley or anything by any means. Nor do I even have a voice, you know, like any of them. But I love the music, and I just love playing the guitar. And, you know, Scotty Hastings, Chris Turner, Samuel, I think it's Gomez. Let's see, Scotty Frazier, another veteran. All these guys are veterans. Anything from U.S. Marines veterans to Army veterans. You know, and these guys play. And it's amazing to hear them. But Scotty Hastings was over during the 80th anniversary. You know, I don't, again, as you guys were mentioning also, like how, I think it was you, Sarah, you said you're someone that you were related to, did a jump, or not jump, but landed or did the D-Day and stuff like that, part of the 101st.
Yeah, it was Drew's Uncle Bill. Yeah, Drew, do you want to hit on that for a minute?
Yeah, so my Uncle Bill Patey, he's actually sort of like my great uncle. He's my grandparents' age. You know, he passed away actually in 2018 at 97 years old. But yeah, he was a young company commander with 101st Airborne, 501 PIR, and jumped in on D-Day. He was one of those guys, one of the paratroopers. Got shot, got separated from his unit, got shot, got captured, you know, and had a whole crazy story. So he was actually one of the inspirations for me to go become an infantry officer. And so, you know, we thought, hey, we got a connection to D-Day, so let's do something that celebrates it, because this is the 80th anniversary year, right? Like the next big anniversary year, 85, those guys might not be around anymore. Like they're almost all gone, right? Because how old? But yeah, it was an honor to be able to kind of do a 3-bottle version celebrating the land, sea, and air allied forces for that.
And that's what it's like, as we're talking about this, and again, this was another thing that we talked about before even getting on here, which, you know, I'm big, because again, I love having all my stuff. And if you look, I have the old Ironside over here, from another veteran,
cool.
that had that display this, which is actually technically Fort Leonard, which the flag is actually Fort Leonard Wood. But again, I was stationed in Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Lawson Woods, as we would call it. But, you know, again, another thing we talked about was the rifle, which I know I'm getting into this a little bit. But my buddy, who is an author, wrote 2 books, The Rifle and then The Rifle 2. His great grandfather was in the Battle of the Bulge, which he takes veterans back to, has been taking World War II veterans back to the Battle of the Bulge, to those times, you know, for the first time or to the second time, and he's made multiple trips to this, which is absolutely amazing. And this is the same guy that does the Boston Wounded Vet Run for the last 13 years. He raises so much money to do this, and to, you know, like even to the veterans that got injured during the storming of Kabul in Afghanistan. He took those veterans that were wounded and he brought them onto the stage and took care of each one of them with giving them all, you know, certain things, whatever they needed, you know. And this is the stuff that he does. You know, I had, right before Vince passed away, who was the 101st Airborne soldier, you know, I got him to sign this book. I did not get him to sign the book that he wrote. But, again, it was something, I've always, looked into, and as being an Army guy, airborne, one of the biggest things was always singing that glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. It's always one of the things that, a lot of us looked into and we're always singing. Because again, that was part of, airborne way of life. So it's amazing. It's amazing that how all this stuff gets connected, and and how you guys are doing this, and the stuff that you are doing to help out with nonprofit organizations that are helping our veterans, because they've sacrificed so much, and all we can do is sacrifice enough to be able to assist and help them, and be able to live with whatever stuff they have to live with the rest of their lives. We all, us individuals that have signed up and raised our right hands and taken that oath, to up and including our lives, we never knew what the destiny was going to be. We just knew that we were doing it, and it was an honor to be able to do it for our country. Because, now we all understand, now we understand the whole thing of, had to be united and had to be, getting together and be able to, keep us all together as being united, and not being divided. Because those times are being tested, and unfortunately it's a sad, but we're all Americans. We need to take care of all of each other, and that's what it's about. And you guys are doing a great job on doing this, and you guys are doing what you guys love to do. Even though it came out of a night of sipping on some whiskey and talking about it, but the next morning that never changed. That idea never changed. And as I think you said, it was 2011, right?
Yeah, it was a while back. Yep.
So I mean, it's great, and you guys are still going after all that. And you guys are. This is a tiring time that in 2009, at the end of 2019 until where we're at now, that's a big tiring time that the economy has gone through a big whole pandemic and everything, and sales and economy and everything just going to kind of craps, and then working its way and then back down a little bit. It's crazy.
That's a really good point. If I could chime in, you bring up, I think a reality for a lot of small businesses and other folks trying to make a go of it. That COVID lockdowns, followed by the next couple of years. I mean, we pivoted to making hand sanitizer. That kept our doors open for a while. Like a lot of other distilling companies, right? Like we knew how to make ethanol, so there you go, hand sanitizer. So we were doing that for a while, and really slogging it out. But the thing to me that has been so rewarding and refreshing is when we were able to turn our sights to making this Salute series, so that we could really, honor and celebrate different communities within the military. We're going to expand into first responders as well, by the way. That's part of our radar screen, because we're doing both. We've got both a special operations Salute brand, but we also have a service to America Salute. So it's not just, we don't want to appear to be, focused only on one area of the heroes that serve our country. So we've got a lot of additions coming out in the future. But when we launched this thing, my point being, it took the focus off of, hey, let's go make booze and go slog it out in the marketplace and try to sell stuff and get people, convince them to buy our stuff, and the normal commerce. This was like, guys, we're bringing out our best stuff we can possibly make. We're going to do it in a way that authentically celebrates and honors communities that all of us as Americans should get behind. And 10% of our gross profits, which is a big chunk of every bottle sold, goes directly to the nonprofits that support, and the benevolent organizations that support our warriors, support our first responders, support our families. So by doing that, by making this a really a giving back, mission driven part of our company. I mean, we're still a for-profit company.
Yeah.
But the focus being on the Salute Series, being giving back, has totally changed. It's opened so many doors. We have so much incredible support from our veterans and from our active duty and from just the community in general. It's just coming out. I mean, to Sarah's point about social media love fest. When's the last time you saw social media love fest? Usually it's the opposite, right? So it's been really an honor and very humbling to be a part of, and we're just super grateful that our CEO and our president Jennifer and Justin Stiefel, who really do run the show. They're the main drivers behind this. They've really empowered us to lead this Salute Series system or whole series to bring out these products. And one interesting point, if I can make about this War Dogs version we did. So we've got some people that would scratch their heads at first and go, "Why would you be coming out honoring the War Dogs?" Like, they don't know the history behind it.
Yeah.
And we learned from Rick Hogg from Hogg Tactical. He came out and he said, you guys really ought to consider, if you're really looking to honor and celebrate true heroes that are selfless and need to be honored and celebrated, but don't get the kind of attention that everyone else does. He goes, look at the military working dogs. And then from that spin off into the law enforcement working dogs, which also will be a part of this. Look at the working dogs. And he pointed out something. He said, they estimate that in Vietnam, right? So go back to Vietnam. Working dogs, by the way, have been in since World War I, right? They go back in the U.S. military forever. In Vietnam, they estimate that the War Dogs saved about 10,000 American servicemen lives. Wow. 10,000. Right? Like, are you kidding me? And then they've estimated something like 400,000 lives they've probably saved since World War I to the present, all with the GWAT. And then the use of the dogs in the global war on terror the last 20 years have just exploded with all the units and what they've done. And the stories we began to hear about these unbelievable dogs and what they've done, and how many people, how many warriors came home because their four-legged warrior gave their life for them. Or stopped an ambush, or smelled an IED, or literally got between them and an explosion. It's unbelievable story. So we're like, well, we need to celebrate the War Dogs, and we actually proofed our whiskey at 98.6 proof. We did that because that's of course the temperature of the human body, the internal temperature of the human body, representing how many lives have been saved by the War Dogs. Right. Yeah. So now the War Dogs edition is going crazy, and it's raising money for not only our veteran organizations, but then all the organizations that are also helping to give back to the four-legged warriors.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Retirement and so forth.
Absolutely, and that's amazing. And we're getting close to the end of the episode and stuff. I want to get this definitely. There's so much I want to talk about on it. But that's amazing that you guys are doing that, and you guys have done the men and women of the armed forces. And stuff like that. And now that you're mentioning, the first responders and stuff, so you're talking about police officers, firefighters, doctors, nurses, those types, not saying anything that, a truck driver's not, during like the pandemic wasn't a, frontline support or whatnot. Because I was also a truck driver.
Nice.
I was a truck driver in the service. I was an 88 Mike Motor T. I drove 42 wheelers.
Holy cow!
So I get it. I get it. But it's definitely the first responders and stuff are mainly the ones that are still putting their lives on the line every day. And putting themselves into harm's way and stuff like that, which is, again, that's where it goes to, and that's, police officers, firefighters, and doctors, nurses, because, we go away in the military to fight this stuff, but now it's the first responders that are doing it here in our hometowns. So as we're talking about that, what do you have in the pipeline, really, if you can mention anything? Because some things are going to be top secret sometimes.
Sure.
But what would you be able to talk about if there's other than maybe that is in the pipeline?
Yeah. So good question. So there's a couple things, and one of them, one of the reasons that we have not rolled out yet a special operations salute for the Marine Corps, for the Navy, is there are trademark issues that we just can't overcome, because different services hold on to the trademark different images and words that we don't want to cross swords with the Department of Defense lawyers.
Yeah.
But there are some phenomenal historical battles in which these great services participated in the past that we can bookend. We did D-Day, so we can bookend with some other maybe Pacific theater war battles, so that we can honor the U.S. Marine Corps, we can honor the U.S. Navy in a way that we can't do through a direct approach like we did with the Army SOF. So, we're definitely working on a first responder series, like I mentioned. Next year and the year after, a couple of really big anniversaries. So next year is the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. Cool. So that's something that's out there. There are some other communities, big communities within our military that we also want to honor and celebrate that just don't normally get the attention, right? So we don't want to just necessarily pick the obvious ones, but
82nd.
But that's probably the best. Yeah. But that's probably the closest I can come to giving away the secret sauce. But there'll be more coming for sure.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that's made this so cool is what drives all of this is we're just this tiny little town in the upper Pacific Northwest, right? Like on the left coast, way up, like nobody even knows where we are. But because of our distribution system, we come up with a different way. We don't have to wait to get in stores. We can actually ship our products directly to people all over the country. There's 45 states and the District of Columbia. People can order directly. So they just go to our website. They go to saluteseries.com, pick the products they want, order it. We ship it out to them. They get it within, 8 or 10 days usually. And so they don't have to go to their store, don't have to wait for Class 6 to pick it up. Eventually we'll be in those stores. It just takes forever. So the saluteseries.com has become a great engine for us to get these products out to folks. And then when they buy a bottle to enjoy, a bunch of money is going back to the nonprofits. So it's just awesome.
Oh, that is, and that's amazing. And you say you're all the way up that way, and I know I have a buddy that lives, who is a Army veteran who I went to basic and AIT with, and we still talk. But I know he used to work in, I think, Port Orchard, Washington.
Yes, that's right next door to us. That's literally the next town over from Big Harbor. Literally.
That's because that's where he was last. I know when last time I spoke to him, and he doesn't update his profile much, but that's where I know that's where he lives in that area. So that's
I could
funny.
throw a stone to it. It's that close. That's cool.
That's great. So definitely, I'm very humbled to be able to have you guys on here and talk about the distillery, because again, it's one of the things that a lot of us veterans we all like to be able to enjoy is sipping on a nice glass of whiskey or scotch or whatnot, and having that cigar. I know my last duty station, I was able to really more enjoy doing that because I ended up being the Inspector General's driver.
Oh, wow, cool.
So I got to really enjoy the cigars and stuff like that more than I ever did. But cool. I got to say that it was good times, and I'm humbled to be able to have you guys on here, and I'm fascinated to hear more about this, and love to be able to catch up more as this stuff launches, because
absolutely,
this is you guys are doing an amazing job. Keep it up. I know you guys love doing your passion and doing this, and definitely see you guys going further and further, and definitely look forward to seeing you guys out there. If they want to find this and purchase this whiskey online, where can you tell them, our viewers, where they can go and get that? And we'll post that right down below, so everybody will be able to see it.
Absolutely. Sarah, do you want to share all that out?
Yeah, absolutely. It's saluteseries.com. All one word, just like it sounds. Saluteseries.com. Like Drew said, we ship nationwide to 45 states. We hope to be landing in the exchange system soon, but there's a whole lot of steps to get there. So if folks can ask for it, if you're active duty military and you can ask for it in your exchange system, that helps create demand. and that kind of drives our distributors to get it there. But we'd love to ship it right to you. We'd love to hear your feedback online. We'd love to see pictures of folks in uniform, with or without dogs. We salute everyone out there that is serving and has served. And Doug, we just really are honored that you had us on today, and that you allowed us a chance to talk about what we love doing and honoring our military communities.
Absolutely, and thank you so much again, you guys. And until next time, everybody, all of our viewers, I want you guys just to definitely check them out. And if you can pick up a bottle, definitely go and find them. It's on the Salute page. I'm going to have all that. Actually, I'll have everything on links, as well as I'm going to share everything constantly for the next umpteen years. Because again, a lot of the feedback I've got from everybody, they've enjoyed it, and so I will be sharing all this stuff, and we really appreciate it. And I'm gonna have Beavis and Butthead. I don't know if anybody else watched it back in the 90s, but Beavis and Butthead's gonna tell us what they think about the episode. Usually it's the same thing. They don't even know what they're talking about, but they're really nice and funny. So, till next time, everybody, we salute ya. We'll catch you guys later.
Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, shut up!
You suck!
Stop, in the name of all that which does not suck.
Thanks for watching Fubar Studios Veteran Reinforcement. Please make sure to check out the Fubar Studios on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and visit the website at fubarstudio.com. Fubar Studios is a Sinista1 Production.